The excitement in the air is palpable for everyone here. It's playoff football time, postseason action, descending upon Commanders Field just outside of D.C. One of these teams will represent the NFC in the Super Bowl in 2 weeks' time. Which will it be as we're underway in the NFC title game? And this opening dynamic kickoff not going to be returned. It'll come out to the 30-yard line. So 1st and 10 now from the 30. First carry here for Kenneth Walker III. He'll wind up getting a yard on the game's first play at 2nd down.
No doubt about it. A really nice job there by the defense, not allowing him to get to the perimeter. But that means your defensive ends, your outside linebackers, the guys that you pay big money to sack the quarterback, they also have to have interest in the running game as well. And they did a nice job there of holding the point of attack and not giving ground.
Again, it's Walker. And he'll get this to about the 34, a gain of just 3. Just not a whole lot of room to operate there on that carry.
No, not at all. They did a really nice job staying in their proper places and not allowing any lanes to open up.
This defense looking for an early stop. This is 3rd down and 6. Now back to throw. He's got his target. That's complete. And he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 27 yards there on a very nice 3rd down conversion. So opening drive 3rd down, they complete the slant to move the sticks.
And ordinarily, it's a high percentage pass when you throw it. And receivers like to run that route because it gets the ball in their hands pretty quickly. Just a couple of quick steps upfield, break towards the middle, the ball should be there, and then they can do some work afterwards.
Down to about the 37.
And the big fella stuffed that one up in a big way. I think doubling him has to be a priority because you can't move up to the next level if you don't take care of him first.
Here's a 2nd and 8. Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. And this is good for a 1st down, his 2nd grab of this NFC Championship bout. Just a simple tap pass, but it pays off in a big way.
And sometimes the simple stuff causes the most problems for a defense because there's a breakdown in communication there. When that receiver goes behind the line of scrimmage and it looks like he's going in motion, someone either has to go with him or he has to be passed off to another defender. Somehow they didn't get that communicated well, and it turned into a nice play.
And they work this near the 5. He'll be stopped at the 6. Now on 1st and goal, a chance to get a leg up in this NFC title game. Here's Walker. And he gets halfway there from the 6 to the 3 on a gain of 3.
Here's where we need to see some tenacity from this defense because they've been pushed right down the field on this opening drive. They've got to find some way to push back, and that's a good first step.
So the ball position now at the 3. Here's 2nd and goal. Walker will score. Touchdown, Seattle. And that caps off what was really a balanced opening drive for them, Charles. They work in the rushing game and the aerial attack, and they end it with a touchdown.
Strong in so many ways, wasn't it, partner? Their ability to throw it and run it and accomplish their goal, they've got to like the way that they started this ball game.
The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll run for the first time here with Brian Robinson. And that play going absolutely nowhere as he's belted before he could get out of the backfield. A loss of a full 3 yards, and now it's 2nd down.
That's a play to take note of there for the defense, I think, in the future. If you're going to try and block him, maybe you get a guard to help double team him and try and steer him out of the play. They should have done it on that snap.
A 3-yard loss to start the drive. They'll look to make that up and then some on 2nd and 13. Here's Daniels. And that's caught inside the 35. Touchdown, Washington. A great effort there. 68 yards. And the Commanders are able to strike back quickly with an opening touchdown of their own. And he showcased his blazing speed on that one.
Was he wearing football cleats or track spikes? Because he was gone. Big-time play, and just think about what that does if you're a receiver on the team with him. Well, that's got to open things up for you as well, because if I'm the defense, I've got to get back deeper and deeper in order to keep him in front. But I'm not sure how many can actually keep him in front with that speed.
Each team's had it. Each team has scored. 7-7 here as the kick's away. And no chance to see a dynamic kickoff. They'll move this out to the 30-yard line. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. This drive here beginning probably with a pair of motivated groups. Remember, the offense scored a touchdown on their last time out, looking to repeat that in Charles's defense. They were very frustrated after giving up 6 the last time on the field.
And frankly, it's just a battle of wills in a lot of ways, because you know they're both motivated. They both game plan for this drive, and they both have specific outcomes in mind. To me, it just comes down to who can execute better and which side can step up and assert its will over the other.
Now on 1st down, he'll drop to throw it. Well, he tries to force it in, and it's intercepted. And the Commanders are going to take over a couple of yards shy of midfield. But just a lot going on there in the middle of the field, and this one winds up a turnover.
Yeah, they're running a crossing route here, and the idea of it is to get defenders confused about who to go with. But if you throw it too early, sometimes it's your quarterback that gets confused, and here he throws it into coverage and gets it intercepted.
The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. They start near midfield following the interception as they begin 1st and 10. They begin the drive with Robinson. And he's fortunate to get anything from that. Give him a yard up to the 49.
Oh, there's plenty of traffic waiting for him up the middle. But give him credit, he tried barreling through anyway. They're fortunate to get a yard out of that one.
Now 2nd and 9. Now Daniels. Pressure comes. He's taken down by the Seahawk defense. That was Nick Bolton rushing in and burying him behind the line. How to approach this. 3rd down and 16 yards to go. To the air goes Daniels. That is caught. And he'll be out just a yard or 2 shy of the 30. That was no 3rd and 2. That was 3rd and 16, but they get the conversion anyway. So from Seahawk territory now, it's 1st and 10, down at the 31. And they'll run on the inside handoff. And he is swallowed up right at the line of scrimmage. Call it no gain on the play, and it'll be 2nd down.
As usual, the hallmark of a good run defense, linebackers making plays near the line of scrimmage. Absolutely nowhere to run there.
To throw is Daniels. Out to the flat. That's complete to his running back. So give him 5 yards there on the pitch and catch. And now 3rd down and 6 to go.
I know it was a gain, but you have to sense probably a little bit of disappointment there, because when it's out there in open space, I think they expect to get more out of a play, don't you?
Especially when you're getting it to your guy out of the backfield. You're expecting him to be able to create something, be a little more shifty.
Yeah, no doubt about it. Good open field tackling held it to an okay gain.
Daniels from the gun on 3rd down. Work in the middle of the field, and he's got a man complete. And he takes it in. Touchdown, Washington. Christian Kirk, 27 yards. And Washington has taken the lead.
All the receivers in the league are plenty good enough. Otherwise, they wouldn't make it in the NFL. But the ones that go to the Pro Bowl, they have refined route running ability.
Extra point by Carlson, up and good. Through one quarter, 14-7 our score. Second quarter now from our nation's capital, and it's Washington in possession of the football as they've got it as we resume action. Carlson now to kick this one away. And he's up across the 25 and down at the 28. Here's the Seattle offense ready to get this drive underway. That 7-0 lead of theirs short-lived as they've now given up 2 straight touchdowns to fall behind by 7.
Yeah, but no cause for discouragement here. Yeah, they've fallen behind, but haven't they proven that they can go down and score? So what was the formula to get them down there the first time? Get back to something close to that, and maybe they can get this game tied up.
Give him 10 yards there, and about by the nose of the football, he's going to have a 1st down. And Walker once more. And he slips up past the 45 before being tackled. 48 yards rushing now on 8 carries for him so far.
It's been a long season, but he still looks fresh running the football. He knows his guys are 1 game away from the Super Bowl, so he's going to give it all he's got. And that's a heck of a run right there.
Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. Yeah, he's going to be out of bounds, but not before he takes it inside the 40. 15 more there, and they're on a roll. It's another 1st down. Here's a quick throw out left. That's caught. Now we're going to get a timeout here as it looks like there's a Seahawk injured on the play. The medical staff will attend to him, and we will step aside. 2nd down and 8. He'll look to throw. Escaping the pressure right. And his throw here is incomplete.
Receiver coaches preach to their guys all the time. Separation, that's what's going to make the play successful. That time there was very little, and I think they were actually fortunate that it was only knocked away and not intercepted.
Back to throw again. Firing quickly here, and that's complete. 3 yards, all they could muster there, and it'll bring up 4th down.
We can make this one pretty simple. Locked up all of his progressions downfield, forced to get it to his running back. But how about the way they ran to the football and knocked him down to force a 4th down?
And they're going to at least line up to go for it here on 4th down. They'll look to throw again. Able to find the open man. That's complete. He's going to go out of bounds, but he takes this one down just shy of the 20. A big pickup of 12 yards on 4th down to keep this drive from stalling. So after the conversion on 4th, here's 1st and 10 just outside of the red zone. A give for Walker running right. They give him 4 yards there. It'll be 2nd and 6.
But that call makes sense because they've been throwing it well on this drive. And once again, they show passing formation, showing the shotgun. And they ran out of it. That's a nice play by them defensively, though, to hold it to a short game.
And he takes it into the end zone across the chalk. Now, there is a flag down. But I think that's offsides on the defense.
Yeah, I think that's going to stand, partner.
The point after is good, and we are tied at 14. This one tied at 14 now as he sends this one away. Oh, a good-looking return set up here. And all in all, a pretty solid return. Nearly got it to the 35. They'll mark him down officially at the 34. From the 34 now, here's 1st and 10. They'll start this drive out on the ground. Oh, he's got a little daylight. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. 16 yards right off the bat and a 1st down.
That's pretty much meat and potatoes right there, wasn't it? Just go right at him and let your big horse charge up the middle. Not too fancy there, was it?
Nothing fancy at all, challenging that defense. And on that go-around, the offense won the challenge. On 1st and 10, it's Robinson. And he'll take this ahead for about 4. 2nd down coming up.
The passing game's been working quite well so far, but the running game's been a little bit of a struggle, and that's a surprise to me. Typically, when you can throw it, you've opened up lanes for your runners.
From the 46-yard line, a 2nd down and 6. Daniels looking to throw. That's complete. Terry McLaurin with it. And that'll wind up moving the chains again as the tackle's going to be made at the Seahawks' 22-yard line. That one covers 24 yards. It's a 1st down. A reminder that when halftime rolls around, Jonathan Coachman will have all the highlights and analysis of this first half of play from our studios in Orlando. Oh, the ball comes out on the hit, but they'll say it's incomplete.
They had their backs up against the wall a little bit, and they come through by forcing an incompletion. Now they've got to continue to ratchet up the intensity a couple of more times and get off the field before giving up any more yardage.
Working out of the gun, Daniels. All right, rifles one, and that's going to be intercepted. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Seahawks are going to take over at their own 28-yard line. Oh, they were in a great position to take the lead, Charles. Obviously, all they needed was a field goal to do that. They wanted the touchdown. Unfortunately, they're going to get neither.
And you know every offense talks about the same thing each week, don't they, Brandon? They want to end every drive with a kick, whether it's a field goal attempt, a point after the touchdown, or at worst a punt. This time they had that opportunity but didn't get it, because you know the field shrinks that close to the end zone, and that allows the defense to tighten up their coverage, and they picked that one off.
And he is going to be stopped cold behind the line of scrimmage. 2 yards the loss, 2nd and 12.
An interesting and intriguing decision there defensively, because they kept extra DBs on the field despite seeing the multiple tight end look that came out for the offense.
I thought they were going to switch out of it. I didn't know if they felt they didn't have time or what the case was.
Well, in any event, the extra speed allowed for great penetration as they stuffed that one behind the line of scrimmage.
Here we go on 2nd and 12. He's got a man. That's caught. Left sideline.
And that play came together really well for them as he found open space, makes the catch, and gets down to the 1-yard line. You know he's kicking himself right now. He thought he had a chance to get a touchdown and put that in his ledger. Instead, his team gets a chance to cash in over these next few plays.
Now here's a little touch pass as they tap it quickly to their receiver. And he's taken down at the 50 after a short gain of 2. A nice play design there with the touch pass. Looked good at the start, but bottom line, the defense was ready.
And they did a nice job scouting, didn't they? Not just scouting, but now executing once they saw the play.
Oh, the Commanders are going to get there as he's taken down. Well, a tough situation to overcome here. 3rd and 17. They'll look to throw. He's going to hit his man out of the backfield, complete. Now the Seahawks call the 2nd of their 3 timeouts as the clock will stop with 35 seconds to go in. Number 2.
That's a pretty play there coming out of the backfield, but as that back, you've got to be conscious of making sure you're securing the football. When you get out in open field, sometimes you get a little loose with it as you're trying to get up ahead of steam. Make sure you keep it close to your body because those defenders are trying to punch it free. He does a nice job there protecting the ball and picking up a 1st down.
Flushed out right. And that is incomplete. Oh, the coverage a little too good there, and it's 2nd down. Well, the incompletion, yes, but maybe here not the worst thing in the world?
No, not on 1st and 10. It actually gives them a chance to regroup, relax just a little bit. They huddle up, talk it over. Then they get a chance to continue their drive.
And they will only muster a yard here to the 38. Now the Seahawks forced to use their 3rd and final timeout. And with halftime on the horizon, they'll be out of timeouts from here forward. On 3rd down, he'll drop to throw. Eluding the pressure right. And he's going to be out of bounds down around the 35-yard line. The decision to tuck and run gets him 3, but that's not enough. Now it's 4th. Washington now going to use the 1st of their 3 timeouts. So as they talk it over, we step aside. This offense converted once on 4th down earlier. Now they're out there again to try once more. They'll set up a throw. And it's incomplete. They cannot convert, and they turn it over. The Seahawks go for it but can't convert. And Washington will have it on the turnover on downs. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And with time quickly fading here in the 2nd quarter, not sure how aggressively, offensively they want to play this.
I think we'll find out just how much they trust their guys in this situation if they decide to take a shot.
On second down, another shot for Robinson. And good running there as he'll take this all the way up to midfield. And that'll do it for the end of the second quarter. This is the NFL, and it's on EA Sports. And we welcome you back now. Alongside Charles Davis, I'm Brandon Gunn, getting set for quarter number 3 here. The Hallis Trophy still hangs in the balance as the second half now underway in the NFC Championship. Looking up into the lights, and he muffs it. Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. And CD, we are in for a very intriguing second half. This is what we wanted, all tied. This is what postseason football is all about.
It certainly is. And doesn't it speak to the parity in the NFL? Roughly half the teams that made the playoffs the year before miss the next year, get replaced. We know it's an any given Sunday mentality. Nothing's easy in the playoffs, but when you have your shot, they're eager to seize it.
Throwing now is Daniels. And he's going to be brought down. Back at his own 6-yard line. Multiple players getting home there, and it's a loss of 2 on the sack. Now, right where this set of downs started, they need a full 10 here to pick up the first down and move the chains. Dancing to his left. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. The drive stays intact with a pickup of 13.
It certainly appears that he's been able to get a read on how they've wanted to contain him in this game. He's seen some places where he can beat them in big spots, and right there, he slides in with ease for the first down.
On first down, they'll go to the ground attack. And he'll manage to pick up about 4 at second down.
And that was a quality play to start a new set of downs. That was simply an offensive line winning the battle up front and winning in a big way and giving their guy in the backfield a nice lane to hit.
2nd and 6. And they'll give him another shot here on the ground. And nowhere to run on the interior of that defensive line. He'll get back only to the line of scrimmage. No gain on the play there, so they're left with a 3rd down and 6. They are in need of 6 yards here if they hope to move the chains. From the shotgun, it's Daniels. Oh, he had him. He was open, but he couldn't get it to him. It's incomplete.
And so many times we look at the opening drive of the third quarter as a tone setter, and many coaches do emphasize it. And that's a strong performance there defensively to force incompletion and, more importantly, force a quick punting situation.
And he'll go out of bounds, it looks like, right at the 40. It'll be a 10-yard return following a punt of 45. And it'll be Seahawk football, 1st and 10. Coming to the line here to begin their next drive, the Seahawks offense. We have not seen much on offense here from either side these last few drives. We've hit a wall, so to speak.
And have hit it hard, haven't we? Because the defenses right now, they seem to be a step ahead, don't they? Beating them to the point of attack, beating them to the punch. These offensive guys, they're tinkering like crazy. What's it going to take to get back on track?
Yeah, both sides searching for adjustments. They work now on 2nd and 9. Back to throw here. He'll find Metcalf. And they'll get to him after a gain of 7 to the 47. Coming up here looking for 3 yards to pick up the first. On 3rd and short, they'll try and pick it up through the air. And he'll be taken down, but he does have first down yardage. That one goes for 8 yards.
I don't care how many times we see it. I still get a kick out of watching quarterbacks and receivers do the pass tree in pregame warm-up. But I always remember that when we go to practices, we see that after practices as well. They really tune it up, don't they?
They tune it up. They know why they do it for these situations. First down.
And they build that trust, and that's why they're able to find him in this type of a situation.
And in the second half of the tied game, every decision gets magnified. And here, if he forces this ball, it could be intercepted. So that's the prudent play to just airmail it out of bounds.
They'll stick with the passing game as he looks to throw. And he cannot avoid the pressure as the Washington pass rush gets home. They'll wind up losing 10 on the sack. And it'll lead to a 3rd and long. They'll set up to throw. That ball caught. It's Rice. And they're going to have another first down here as the tackle's made at Washington's 26. A real letdown defensively. That was 3rd and a bundle, but they allow the conversion. Oh, they're going to run a little pop pass here. All right, a great read by the secondary. They come up to stop that touch pass before it can even get back to the line. Second and 14. And he will slide to a stop. He does have the first down. A solid gain of 15 yards, and the sticks move.
Partner, there's a downside to everything, and the danger of man coverage is if you're locking down your target, you often turn your back to the quarterback, and you don't see him. Sometimes you open up a big lane for him to hit you for big yardage, and that was an astute play by him to scramble out, see that lane, and burn them for a first down.
One quarter remains until the NFC crowns its champion. We'll return with more after this. You're watching the NFL on EA Sports. Line of scrimmage, the 15. It's 1st and 10. Up the middle they run. It's Walker. This carry, despite the extra effort, will be stopped short of the 10. Call it a gain of 4 on 1st, and that'll make it 2nd down.
Not a run that you're going to write home about, but still a good first down run. That's what an offense calls staying on schedule. 3 to 4 yards on 1st down, you're set up very well for the rest of the drive.
Now a 2nd and 6. Now we've got whistles and movement up front. I think this is against Seattle. And that false start penalty certainly not helping their cause here. 2nd down and long. They run again with Walker. He's down inside the 10 to the 8. And it comes on a gain of 8.
But you got to give kudos to your offensive line and the guy carrying the ball because they were in a 2nd and long situation. It seemed pretty dire, but they brought it back to 3rd and manageable with that run.
They'll try for the first with Walker. And he's able to get it down to the 2-yard line. 87 yards rushing for him now as he has been tremendous all day long.
I used to joke with my teammates who carried the ball a lot. When we got in these situations and they were carrying us home, I used to tell them, boy, you guys just look like Paul Bunyan, just growing stronger, bigger, tougher. And all night long, he's carried this team.
He has indeed. Everything magnified right now. A huge 3rd down conversion. And he's across the chalk into the end zone. Touchdown, Seahawks. A 2-yard touchdown grab.
And the Seahawks have broken this deadlock and have taken the lead here in the fourth.
Extra point right down the middle. And the lead is now 21-14. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock.
And it's a pretty good return here as they'll get this up to the 29. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. And they are in need of points here, no doubt about that. With a Super Bowl berth on the line and trailing here in the fourth quarter, this possession, gigantic.
And the Seahawk defense gets to him, and they bring him down. He'll wind up losing 8 on the sack there, and it's second down.
Pressure can come from all over when you're plotting a defensive strategy. On that particular play, it just came from the outside.
Got to imagine the pass rush will be equally intense here on second down following the sack. It's 2nd and 18. Back to throw. Daniels. Throwing middle, and it's complete. And they'll get it all the way up about 5 yards shy of midfield. The catch and run, good for 24 yards.
Like the design that we're seeing right there, this is what they need. Down by a touchdown here in the fourth. They just need to keep working their way downfield. And when they see openings, take their shots.
On first down, he'll drop to throw. Flush to his right. And he'll toss this one incomplete. Seeing no options, he throws it away.
His struggles finding open receivers continue. I don't know the last time I saw him this inconsistent throwing the football.
It would be hard to find a date when he was this inconsistent. You know, in his locker, he keeps the word poise printed on an 8.5 by 11 sheet of paper. He needs to find that poise right now.
He certainly does. In fact, I would suggest he laminate it.
And 2nd and 10, he'll look to throw again.
Oh, that's going to be a costly one. It's intercepted. Picked up by Nick Bolton.
And he will take this one home. It's a touchdown. Now they'll line up to kick the extra point. He's got it as they double up the lead. This one's now 28-14. So they throw the pick six. They'll get another shot at it now as this one's in the air.
And out a little across the 25 to the 27. Here's 1st and 10.
Throwing after the interception. Daniels. It's a short one here, complete to the tight end. And he gets this one just shy of the 40. They'll mark him down at the 39. At this stage, this drive's got to be touchdown or bust because you need 2 of them.
And if I'm the offensive play caller, I'm not just looking at my dagger plays downfield. I'm looking at some of my specials, something that can fool them and give you a big play now.
With a sense of urgency.
No doubt.
Oh, this one incomplete. The pressure got to him as he released it. And it's 2nd down.
Well, the pressure, the hits, the sacks have been coming at him all game long. I'm frankly surprised that they haven't found a solution yet to create more time for him to throw it or maybe change what they do on offense.
Yeah, that's one of the biggest differences in this game and why they're losing right now. And he'll be taken down, but not before he gets into enemy territory.
All 3 timeouts remain, but they've got to score quick. It's 1st and 10.
Here's Daniels. And he takes a shot on the release as this will be incomplete.
Limited time left on the clock after that incompletion, so I think both sides are going to savor every second to prepare before the next snap. Because once the ball's in motion, it may be a nonstop push to finish this drive off. Everyone better be on the same page right now, because I think they're going to try and get several plays off in quick succession if they can.
Again, he'll drop to throw. And this is intercepted, and that should do it. Picked off by Marshawn Lattimore. And the Seahawks are going to get it back here just past the 35. This spot in the fourth quarter with that deficit had to throw the football. Unfortunately, there's the risk of big turnover.
And you know you're going to be throwing against nickel, dime, all sorts of exotic defenses, but you have to do it anyway. Ordinarily, you might want to run the football a little bit, try and get them out of it. But as you noted, this time of the game, this point on the clock, had to throw it.
That one looks like he'll throw here. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And this is taken in at the 5. And he is in for the Seattle touchdown. DK Metcalf, 64 yards. And the Seahawks are closing in on a Super Bowl berth now as they extend their fourth quarter lead. The kick unit for the Seahawks out there on the field, and we are ready to rock. And able to get this across the 20, but not much further as he's dropped it to 23-yard line. The Washington offense at the line and ready to roll. But probably not much that they can do at this point, CD. Down 3 scores late in the fourth quarter. This is going to be a little too much to overcome, you would think.
Yeah, they'll go down swinging, but in the end, I think we saw the writing on the wall a while back because one team was clearly better than the other in this one. And while it didn't quite reach blowout status, I think we knew who was going to win this one well before we got to this stage.
And Washington now going to use the first of their 3 timeouts as they get it with under a minute to go now in the football game. On second and goal, here's the option. Now the Commanders going to burn the second of their timeouts as they get the stoppage with a little over 50 seconds left to go in the game. They'll look to throw on third and goal. He's got it. Touchdown, Commanders. A 5-yard touchdown. And the Commanders have got it back to a 2-score game here in the fourth. Extra point by Carlson, up and good. And the lead will be cut down to 14. So 2 scores down. Time definitely not an ally, but here comes the onside kick. And this is going to be recovered by the hands team. And that should just about put a capper on this one. They knew they needed a miracle. They had to have that onside kick. They didn't get it.
Well, as we knew, even before they put the toe to the leather on that one, their chances of getting that done, slim and none. And I do believe we saw Slim just leave the door, didn't we?
We did indeed. I think we're down to none. Good starting field position for them as they come up 1st and 10 right at the 50-yard line. From the midfield stripe, they'll look to throw. Going for Metcalf on the deep ball. And it's knocked away and incomplete.
That could have been a huge play, but give the defender credit. Stayed calm, stayed collected, and kept himself in a position to make a play on the ball without a penalty.
2nd and 10. Well, we looked at each other right when he flinched. We knew that that flag was coming.
Yeah, offsides, easy call, mark off the 5, and keep it moving.
Here's a 2nd and 5 now after the offsides penalty. They're going to look to throw. Setting up the screen here. This is Walker. Past the 20. And he's brought down, but not before he reaches the 8-yard line. Now the Seahawks going to use the first of their timeouts. That'll leave them with 2 remaining. We'll be back after this.
Going for the knockout punch. They'll try and run.
And he is in for the Seattle touchdown.
Kenneth Walker
saving his best for the playoffs with his 3rd touchdown of the game.
And the Seahawks continue to pull the playoff surprise as they lead big here on the road.
Set now to kick this one away, and off it goes.
And that one going to hop into the end zone, and it'll come out to the 20. Out there set and ready for this next drive, the Washington offense. Well, this game, it has had no shortage of offense. They've been able to put up a decent amount of points on this side, Charles. They just have not been able to keep pace with the other offense they're going against here.
Yeah, that's a good way of pointing things out because now it's not a total loss because, as you said, they've scored some points, so there's some plays they can build on, moments where the game plan actually worked. But overall, though, they were just out-personnel. They were going up against a team that's playing at an elite level.
And this one almost intercepted. Far too loose with the football. Nearly a 4th pick of the ball game. To throw is Daniels.
He's going to let it fly. Well, had his hands on it, couldn't bring it in. Pretty symptomatic of how this game's been going.
That's coverage you'd expect to see in a tie game late. Not in a lopsided game like this. They are not letting up.
One final shot. They'll look to throw.
He's got his target. That's complete.
And he's taken down, but able to slip across the 35. And they get to hoist the Hallis Trophy. Unbelievable victory. Moving on to the Super Bowl.
I only hope that these players understand exactly who is behind that trophy. George S. Hallis, one of the creators of this great game of football of ours and creator of the NFL. What an amazing feeling and an amazing accomplishment.
And that will do it for this one. For Charles Davis, myself, and the entire crew, we'll see you in 2 weeks at the Super Bowl.